Hi, welcome to Homemade Italian Cooking. I'm Cara. Today we're going to make lasagna, but I am making a special one. We're making portobello mushrooms and spinach lasagna. And I'm going to take it a step further and show you how you can accommodate a large crowd and those vegetarian and picky eaters too. You could make 2 pans of lasagna out of basically the same ingredients. So with that, I want to show you, this is normally what I make lasagna in. It's my big lasagna pan. It's deep. It's a good casserole dish. But instead, I'm going to be making it in 2 9x13 baking pans. One will be the healthy version. It's going to be a white sauce made out of vegetable stock and yogurt and all the cheeses. It's going to be light and healthy. This one is going to be classic. It's going to include marinara sauce and sausage, which is my husband's favorite. So let's get started. You all have seen them. They're very large, beautiful mushrooms. They're really a cremini that is full grown, a regular white button mushroom, but fully grown. So this is in season. There were a ton of them in the bin, and you'll see there's still a lot of dirt on them. So this is what I do. I just snap off the stem. You can use this for stock. You can chop it up and put it in a stuffing. But in this case, I'm going to throw it away. I'm not going to use it. It's got a lot of dirt and roots at the bottom there. Okay, so we're left with the portobello. Now the trick, I think, is to scrape out the gills, this dark brown stuff that's inside. And the easiest way to do that is with a spoon, just the side of a spoon, and you scrape it right out. It comes very easy. It really doesn't hurt to eat it, but I think it discolors sauces and things when you do it. It's kind of messy, so have a paper towel ready. And it goes pretty fast. Just scrape it out. If you have a little bit of the brown gills left, it's not a big deal. And now you've got a beautiful trimmed portobello. If it's real dirty, with a lot of dirt and stuff on it where you can see, take a paper towel, wipe it off. If it's really bad and you have to, just rinse it under the water real quick. Don't let the water soak in, because mushrooms are like sponges. Just rinse it very quick and wipe it off. But this is pretty good. Now another thing I'll show you that you can do with the portobello is just trim off a bit of the ends if you want to give it a nice trimmed, clean look. I'm not going to do that for this dish because we're just going to slice these and put them and fry them up in a pan and then put them into the casserole. So let me just show you the slicing part. So we've got our portobello. I am just going to slice it in, chunks like that, and you see the beautiful white portobello inside. I'm going to leave them whole. They're about, I'd say 3/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch thick. So I've got six of these to go. I'm going to finish the rest of them, and we're going to next fry them up in a pan. About 1/4 cup of olive oil heating up in the pan over a medium-high heat. And we are going to put in all of the portobello mushroom slices. They're going to cook down. I do like to leave them whole, big like this. Just makes for a nicer bite when you bite into the lasagna. Okay. All right. Okay, as you can see, these are cooked beautifully. They're a little soft, they're dark and caramely. I'm going to transfer these out of the pan, and in the same pan we are going to cook the spinach. Oh, I almost forgot the garlic. And it would not be the same. So let me put the garlic in here. And I'm going to let that just cook a minute or two. All right, we got most of it there. Now the next step, and I've still got a very hot pan and you can see the garlic in there, is I'm going to put in all this spinach. This is fresh washed, trimmed baby spinach. It looks like a lot, but it's going to cook down. Just pack it in there. Don't worry about it. I'm going to throw in about a tablespoon of vegetable broth. And we're going to stick the lid on this, and it will cook in just a few minutes. Let me get that one out of there. There we go. Okay. All right, you can see this is starting to wilt and cook down. It's a good time to add the seasonings for this. So we're going to add a little more salt, a little more black pepper, and the ingredient I always use with spinach is a nutmeg. This is a nutmeg grinder. I'm going to give it a good amount of nutmeg in here. It will get absorbed up in the casserole. Okay, you can see the spinach is really turning bright green. Just what you want, and hard to believe, but that is all you're left with in the pan. All right, that's it. I'm going to turn it off. Okay, we're ready to make the ricotta filling. Now, I've got 2 pounds of ricotta here, and we're going to first crack in an egg. The egg is going to help us bind and hold the filling together, and we're going to mix that in real well. I'm going to salt and pepper. Next, again, another pinch of salt, a little bit of pepper. And now we're going to put in about a cup of Parmesan cheese, and that's almost all of it. All right, and now we put in the spinach. And this is the spinach we cooked before. It's been drained a little bit. I rough chopped it so we didn't have just giant pieces of spinach. And last I'm going to throw in, this is minced basil, fresh basil, and fresh flat leaf parsley. So I've got this nice, this is also going to pick up a lot of that nice fresh herb flavor. Okay. So the next step is going to be to assemble. Let me get this cleaned up and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, you're wondering, where's the noodles? Well, I'm decided to use the no-boil lasagna noodles for this dish. Now there's a big controversy between boil and no boil. Of course you can get the traditional lasagna noodles with the little curly edges. Parboil them. I know they're a problem at times. If you overcook them, then they rip and shred. They're hard to get out. They stick together. If you do decide to use the boiled lasagna noodles, what I suggest you do is just cook them half the time that the package says. Take them out with your tongs one at a time and lay them flat on a single layer on a kitchen towel. That way at least they're ready to go and they'll be cooled down a little bit. But for this, I'm going to try the no boil lasagna noodles. I kind of like these. What's different about them is that they're thinner than the regular boiled noodles, and so you use them dry. We're going to layer them right in the pan. As you can see, this makes making lasagna a lot easier. The liquid in all the sauces and the ingredients is what's going to cook it through. We'll put a foil over the pan at the when we're done, before we put it in the oven, and that's going to help keep the steam in, and these will bake perfectly. The other thing I like about them is that they don't have the little curly ribbony things on the end. I think the flat edges, I kind of like that look. It's more of a, reminds me when my grandma would actually make the pasta from scratch and roll out the thin sheets of pasta and cut it for lasagna. So it makes me feel like it's more of a homemade, but this is definitely a modern tip you'll want to take advantage of. All right, so the first step, and we're going to do the vegetarian one first. Now I've made the bechamel sauce, but it's really not bechamel because it doesn't have any milk in it. This is, as you can see, a very velvety, creamy color. It's, you know, your traditional recipe is you know, 1 stick of butter, half a cup of flour, and 4 cups of liquid or milk. That's really what a bechamel is. Instead, I used the stick of butter, because I just like butter, the half a cup of flour, and I used 4 cups of vegetable stock. And then I added in 1 carton of Greek yogurt, plain Greek yogurt. And that gave it a richness and creaminess that I don't think you'll really be able to tell the difference. So the first step is to ladle in a spoonful, I'm going to put 2 in here, of our white sauce. Get that going. And we're going to put in 3 of these. And the way these seem to fit best, if you can see it, I'm going to put 2 side by side and 1 at the top. And when they cook, these will expand a little bit, so they're not crammed in. And I think that makes actually a really nice layer. Okay, so the first thing you're going to put on is the ricotta cheese. And we're going to spoon in big globs of this. And I'm going to use my spatula and sort of smooth it out. It's a little bit easier at this stage. As we build layers, this will get a little bit harder to do. What you do in that case, you'll see, is we just do smaller spoonfuls. And it's not about thick layers for me in lasagna, it's about balance and how everything works together. Okay, so we have that. Now we're gonna, and I'm gonna use my hands because I find it more efficient. I'm going to put a layer of these beautiful Portobello mushrooms. Get 1 more on here. Okay. And now we're going to sprinkle some, got it. I've got some, actually this is 2 pounds of grated whole milk mozzarella. And I'm going to sprinkle very lightly. I'd say this is probably a half a cup. A handful, and so it melts in. So this is, as you can see, very cheesy, but it's going to be gorgeous. Okay, so, oh, and I do want to put some more sauce on the top. Just drizzle this on. Okay, now we'll put the next layer, and what I do is alternate, so I'll put the one going horizontally that way and the 2 vertical ones. Put a nice layer there. Don't smash it because then you'll break it. And I think we're going to make this the top layer so that I have enough portobello and ricotta spinach filling for the other casserole. So with that, I am going to now throw on some more sauce on the top, right over these noodles. And we're going to finish with lots of mozzarella. And this is going to coat and melt and get all golden on the top. We want to make sure the noodles are covered because you don't like to get those, or I don't like those crunchy little parts of the noodles that aren't covered. And we'll get this nice. Okay. I think that looks perfect. Messy, but I think it's going to taste perfect. And then I'm going to grab a little bit of my parmesan here and put that right on top. Fantastic. Okay, that's 1 down. Set that aside, and we're going to do our second one. All right, so now here we're going to go with marinara sauce on the bottom. So I'm just going to pour a little bit down here to get it started and get a fresh ladle. We're going to follow the same assembly. Only we're going to do 1 layer of portobello mushroom, and we're going to do 1 layer of sausage and the ricotta cheese on both. Same thing, finish off at the top. We're going to top it off with marinara sauce, mozzarella cheese, and parmesan, and we'll have both casseroles done in no time. Okay, There you have it. 2 pans of lasagna. A big mess in the kitchen, but won't take any time at all to clean up, I don't mind. And we're going to pop these in. They're going to, I have to cover them with foil yet before I pop them in. We're going to cook them for about 30 minutes with the foil. Take the foil off, let them brown on the top for the last 10 minutes, and they should be perfect. So we'll see you when they're done. The house smells fantastic. I could smell all the flavors and the garlic and everything cooking. I want to dig into this corner and try this vegetarian one. So we've got a nice little piece here. It's pretty darn good. Wow, that flavor is amazing. I wish you could try it. I really urge you to try making lasagna. Make just one for your family, make them both. Experiment a little bit with the boil and no boil noodles. But if you make both, you can get to try the difference between a white sauce and a red sauce. So thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to me below. I've got the full recipe, and you can go to the website as well and get the recipe there. Thank you very much. See you next time.